What's going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are all doing well. I've been on a wee bit of a hiatus. I've been really busy. I'm in my final semester of nursing school, and I'm actually in my final month. So, you know, it's crunch time for me. So I haven't been cranking out videos as often as I would like. But, you know, that'll change as soon as everything's done, and I just have my priorities I got to focus on. But aside from that, I wanted to kind of touch on a topic that a lot of people have asked me about. People have either kind of brought it up or they've asked me questions about it. And the topic is, you know, I want to get into riding a motorcycle because it's a little more cost effective than riding or driving a car. And they asked me my thoughts on that. Well, while I will probably always tell you, yes, ride a motorcycle, just because, you know, I love motorcycles. The truth be told, it's probably more expensive to drive a motorcycle as your daily driver than it is to drive a car. Now let me explain. When you drive a car, or at least when I drove a car, you know, I did the maintenance, but, you know, I didn't always keep up with it as much as I do on a motorcycle. The reason being is on a car, or in a car, you're going that way, alright, in a car, you know, you feel a little bit more secure. You don't feel the need to make sure that everything that is on the car is working pristine, just because you have a sense of security in a car, I suppose. On a motorcycle, really, this is the only thing between me and the road. You know, this is really the piece that stands between me and the road. And being that as it is, I want to make sure that this thing is working at its, you know, absolute optimal capability. I want to make sure my tires are perfect. I want to make sure my oil is perfect. I want to make sure my brakes are perfect. I want to make sure everything is working perfect, because I don't want anything to malfunction on this motorcycle while I'm driving it. You know, I've seen people driving a motorcycle and then their chain pops because they don't do chain maintenance, and then that gets all stuck up and they go flying off the bike. You know, it's simple things like that. So I make sure that I always maintain my motorcycle. And that being said, maintaining a motorcycle, if you're really doing it to its utmost capabilities, it's not cheap. It's absolutely not cheap. You know, you go through things like tires a lot faster, depending on the tire, of course, that you get, but no tire on a motorcycle is going to last anywhere near a tire on a car. If you get tires on a car, they'll last 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 miles. You know, I think the most I've been able to get out of a sport touring tire is something like, I don't know, 12,000 miles. And then that's saying a lot. You know, normally if you get just regular sport tires, you'll probably get something like 3,000 or 4,000 miles out of that tire, depending on how you ride. You know, if you're a very aggressive rider, you're going to burn through the tire a lot faster. If you don't know how to do the maintenance on a motorcycle yourself, which at first, when I first started riding, I had no idea what I was doing. So I would have to take it to a shop. Motorcycle technician labor is more expensive, I think, than cars. Really, guy? Alright, whatever. So yeah, you know, I might have to get the parts, which weren't cheap either, and then I'd end up having to pay for an expensive motorcycle technician that, you know, just really jacked up the costs. So all these little things, at the end of the day, come out to be more expensive than the amount of money that you save on gas. You know, yeah, I might save a few bucks here and there on gas. It takes me, my tank's about 4 gallons roughly, so it takes me about, I don't know, $16 to fill it with premium, because my bike takes premium. And so, yeah, I mean, the few dollars I might save here and there on filling up, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it compensates enough to cover the amount of expenses of maintaining a motorcycle. I felt like I had to do so much less maintenance on a car. Not to mention all that maintenance takes time. I do most of my maintenance myself. You know, I've over the years I've learned how to do things. I've watched YouTube videos on how to do certain things to my motorcycle. I've asked friends that have motorcycles or that even have the same motorcycle. And, you know, so you know, over time I've learned to do a lot of this stuff myself. But you know, when you're first starting out, you probably would have no idea how to, you know, I don't know, how to adjust your chain. Things like that. That's a simple, very simple thing to do, but not a lot of people do it. But not a lot of people know how to do it. But it's very important when it comes to chain maintenance. If you have too much or too little slack in your chain, you're going to end up chewing through your chain a lot faster. You're going to end up chewing through your sprockets a lot faster. So, you know, it's simple things like that. So, you know, if you're trying to get into riding a motorcycle solely based on a cost savings perspective, don't do it. You're gonna come to find out it's almost like a money pit. Not a money pit. That's a bad way to describe it. But it is a more of an expense. Now, if you're getting into riding motorcycles because you really like motorcycles and you just want to ride, and by all means, yeah, I recommend it highly. But if you think you're going to save money between riding a motorcycle and driving a car, chances are not. Now, of course, this all depends on where you live, and it could vary greatly. But, you know, all in all, it's not exactly cheap to maintain a motorcycle. Or at least not the way that it should be maintained. Alright guys, well, let me know what you think about that topic. I hope I kind of answered some questions with that. I get asked that question a lot. Oh man, I love getting off on that exit. So much fun. So yeah guys, there you have it. Do I think it's cost effective to ride a motorcycle? Not really. Do I think it's a hell of a lot of fun? Absolutely. Even without the cost savings, do I think you should do it? Yeah, I do. Because once you ride a motorcycle, it's in your blood.